Even the media houses that first broadcast the content of these petitions were media houses that you can say are aligned to the opposition.
Welcome to the Political Rant with me, the voice right on Ghana SMTVGH. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications so that anytime videos of this nature are uploaded, you'll be notified. For Yen Mami, Chief Justice Gertrude Otokono Araba, Wabeka and Semba Kumienubi, in front of the whole country to update us on the things that are going on. Say, and his Excellency John Domani Mahama, I suspending to say one or two issues be. Now, Oka say, what request is say no I've done something wrong. I say I want the hearing to be held publicly. Mediamba hona obiambeti so that the public can know say oh I've done something wrong. Mahama see there be. Now or see say na nema ne kono I say her rights no have been impeded upon, and I say they have been trampled upon. Now, because of some of the things she has said they are searching her body, they are parting her. You don't even do parting to a high court judge, or be a high court judge, or call another country, or mindful from Mukrana, dictatorship cry. You don't part because a privileges are according to such people. Or see a man in funny phone, ni phones on cry echo hearing nasi, a man in funny laptop echo hearing nasi, and all those things. And to occur as a million and a Felix Kwakye, and I say Felix 78 million. They say they need from the Felix 78 million because a man is 78 million Ghana cedis say on fire communications or presidency honum. And see, Onya who said she just organize a press conference, and I also be organizing a press conference or say or responding. Now, we were expecting, say, in the response of Felix Kwakye, no, Obeka say, in Sema, Chief Justice no kase, baby, I muye hearing no, baby, I hearing no echo suo no. Osi ohwana yeku ni uncle suo, ni uncle aye military man, retired military man. Ebra yeku those three judges and the others, no. The uncle was the other military man that was also killed. Osi. You have intentionally held the hearings there to intimidate her. So I was expecting for Kwakye Beka said debut. Baby yeti asem no no. Enye sa same place no. But you could not debunk it. Okay? The woman again said, say, you are parting her before she enters the room. No, move the musanka kane huna se say or would be on the one. You have not come out to say enutro. The woman again said, say, most of the things against musi evidence mudi are suspending no. All the evidence are brem, all the receipts are brem. Sika bi oho ye manu $9,000 be say $14,000 be say uncle spendi. Or call or spend ye only $4,400. And $9,000 can or buy all the ma buying all these things. You have not been able to come out to say she's lying. So what at all have you suspended the Chief Justice on? What have you suspended the woman on? Or see only judges be etina asemso. And a nepa all the asem no by no be misbehave. And I'll catch them say omuyi ne free court no. Mu single onunkwa out say onunkwa no onukwana. Wama order no. Meanwhile, the other judge out only netina asem no so no. That judge they say onu a chairman of committee a etina asem. How does it make sense? Just DNA. But this is the kind of people you have voted for. So I'm putting the response of Felix Kwakye up next for you to listen yourselves and judge for yourself if this is even a response that should come from somebody that we are wasting 78 million Ghana cedis of our taxpayers' money on. I'll see you in the next one.
Even the media houses that first broadcast the content of these petitions were media houses that you can say are aligned to the opposition, and they are the ones who have gone to town with this sort of thing. So to attempt to cast aspersions on the presidency is most unfortunate, and it causes what should be a smooth process leading to the determination of the merit or otherwise of the petitions that have been brought. So in summary, I would say that what has happened today is most regrettable. And as government, or as the President Mahama is committed to upholding the rule of law. We cannot have a situation where depending on who is involved, the constitution is set aside. All Ghanaians are equal before the law, in the same way that our courts have dealt with individuals in accordance to law. If members of the judiciary themselves are alleged to be engaged in some wrongdoing, the processes laid down and spelled out by the constitution ought to be respected. And that is exactly what has happened. I thank you very much. If there are any questions that you have, you may ask them.
So
yes,
the embattled Chief Justice made reference to veiled threats on her life, and much as you're concerned about sticking to the sanctity of the constitutional procedure she needs to go through, you should equally be worried about this threat on her life. What's government's response to the specific issue about threats on her life?
The Chief Justice, more than anybody else, perhaps in this country, should be aware of the platform that is available to address such threats. Kamala, if today somebody sends you a threat, you know exactly where to go to seek redress in the matter. And that is what I would say about it. Yes, Akusia.
One of the groups that petitioned, the Shining Stars group, the Chief Justice in her press conference indicated that her research done by her team show no traces of authenticity when it comes to that particular group, that the group has not been registered. Can you authenticate that group if we know anything about the Shining Stars?
First of all, I'm not sure whether there are provisions covering this, whether there's a requirement for authenticity, as it were. There were also individuals. How do you authenticate the individuals? What matters is that they have raised issues. And the Chief Justice was given opportunity by the President and the Council of State to provide initial responses, which then form the basis of the determination of a prima facie. The President, in consultation with the Council of State, came to the conclusion that there was a basis to proceed further. The President then, in accordance with Article 1466, I believe, set up the committee as spelled out by the Constitution and gave them the petitions to look into. The processes have been ongoing for quite some time now. So as far as the President is concerned, every law, rule, or regulation or process that has to be adhered to has been respected. So I do not know how this particular matter in any way impinges on the integrity of the process that has gone on so far. But then again, the Chief Justice has had cause, at least on 5 occasions. The Chief Justice and others, I must indicate, have had cause at least on 5 occasions to go to the Supreme Court to seek redress in the matter. And on all occasions, the Supreme Court has upheld the process as is currently underway. And so that, for me, should resolve the issue beyond any reasonable doubt. Yes, Max.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is there any timeline that we're looking at for the committee to finish the work? Because in her speech, she made accusations that there's an attempt to frustrate her. There's also an attempt to intimidate her to get her to resign. And she made that point clearly and forcefully that she's not going to resign. I'm curious to know whether there's a specific timeline by which this hearing, should be done.
Max, as I've been at pains to explain all evening, the President can only proceed on the basis of law. The law spells out what can and cannot be done. The Constitution does not set a timeline, and therefore the President cannot impose a timeline. Indeed, at this moment, the matter is entirely out of the hands of the President, insofar as it is seized with the committee. The President cannot direct the committee on anything that they should or should not do. So it is only they who can determine the processes that are laid down to undertake this particular activity. And as and when they finish and make recommendations as stipulated by the 1992 Constitution, the President is bound to act in the manner that they recommend. So I am not in a position to speak to any timeline, neither is the President. It is only the committee that can determine when sufficient time has been had to look into the matter. Yes. Is there any? Yes.
Are there any specific reasons why the hearing has not been